Money, 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 money. Warren style of mic testing. A typical day in everyone routine, daily routine life. I was doing my yoga today morning. I see the gardener planting the trees. I see the newspaper guy, the skill what they have while throwing the newspaper, you would have seen all around. Then the milkman comes with the daily routine. Then I get a call, you need to pick your cousin from the railway station. Specifically in Belgaum, if you would have gone to a railway station, you see that old man taking that luggage. I don't know if you would have seen that. He's there always, the coolie there in a Belgaum railway station. So he's picking the luggage. So what's common in all these four? So they all are still working. Now the point is, working is not a problem. When I was talking to the coolie guy, I asked him at 82, you're still holding the luggage. I mean, how do you manage that? He said, I've learned only this skill and I don't have anything else to do. For my survival, I need to do that. So then I realized, guess what's the topic for today for me? So the breaking boundaries on financial freedom. So I've just break from my journey from my dad's journey of investment to my journey of investment, and then how did we sail through. So my dad's journey of investment started in the 80s. The typical money back policies, the insurance policies. Mutual fund had not much of penetration of those days. And then 1992, Harshad Mehta scam hits the market. The largest scam of India, the stock market scam of Harshad Mehta. My dad lost all his money. I could see all the hard work, the efforts put, then the entire legacy is gone. I still remember those days. Then my investment journey started. I thought I will not repeat the same mistake. I started investing. And then what happened? 2008, the tech boom happened, and then again the same. In fact, I also lost money. In 1992, my dad lost money. I thought I will not repeat the same mistake. Here, even I lost money. Then I realized it was not his mistake, it was our mistake. We didn't learn the language of money. So as a Marwadi, I had to come back again. Otherwise, inflation would have killed us. So I started back. So here, I started with experience. I was prepared for this time. So we started slowly. And then 2020, the COVID hits the market. Market's 40% down. But guess what? This time we had learned the art of investing. There were two main reasons, no panic and discipline. This is what we followed. What happened next? Another 6 months of COVID, market hits at its best, lifetime high, and we could sail through. So the journey began from my dad losing money, I losing money, and then discipline and no panic, which made us reach there, and the journey started. This is how we started building our assets, and that's how our journey started. So about me, I made a lakh a month initially, and then I thought that's fair enough for me. Though I was above 90% of the population, but then I realized I was above 90% of the population, but my dreams were below that. Statistically, yes, I made money, but practically I was just surviving. Then the point was, so before that, I did my MBA from Bombay, from a well-recognized institute, then worked for as a trainee with the largest AMC of the world. Moved to a bank, and 14 years I was with India's largest conglomerate. I used to take care of equities, commodities, currency, PMS, AIF, you name any financial product, that was part of our kitty. So what's the mantra? We hear people losing money, so what's the mantra in that? One fine day, I was just, how much is enough? The question always was there in me, how much is enough? Then with so much of experience, I came to a point, 50x rule. That was my rule, not no Warren Buffett rule, no Wall Street. It was my own rule. What was it? Monthly expenses, that's your yearly expenses into 50x. That's what the dream figure should be there whenever you plan any retirement. When you talk about Western countries, that can be 40, 45x. The reason behind our social safety and the hospital expenses, what we have during retirements are different. So 50x would be the perfect formula when you plan any of your retirement. So say you make a lakh of rupee a month, so that's 12 lakhs a year. So 50x is just roughly a 6 crores, that's your goal. Now you will tell me, it's easy to tell 6 crores, but how do you make it? Yes. So I have a couple of things which I have done and maybe that would help. So what all options I have? There are three options. Either I study, I do my own homework and I start investing. But the problem is today you open any social media, all fin influencers are with 100 of ideas and there's a hidden agenda always. So you are confused again what to do. Second option, a trusted advisor around. Maybe he also has any hidden agenda on this. Third option, the easiest option is a bank always, but I still feel they have lack of knowledge when it comes to investments. So what next? Did you guys anyone talk about money at home? So money has always been a taboo on a dining table, or it's just save, save, save. That's what Indian philosophy of money is all about. The real advisor is you. If you ask me it's a hard-earned money, how do we do it? You are your own advisor. Do your own homework. In 1992, what my dad did the mistake, maybe that time we didn't have much of knowledge, much of products. But now you have 100 of things, you can do your own studies, there are many sessions, seminars happening. Upgrade yourself. Learn about money. And then hire a trusted advisor. Why? Because you know what he is doing. So you're not giving a free hand to do whatever he does. So this is what I have planned. When you are in your 20s, you started your working, less of money in hand. Do a SIP. Start with the SIP. This is what I did. 30s, you grow. SIPs, equities. As and when you grow 30s, 40s, 50s, you start investing in gold, real estate, because that requires big money. So you'll start making big money those days. And this is how slowly you will build up your wealth. So to conclude, if you can count your money, then you really need to work hard. A rupee doubled every day for 30 days is 53 crores. But a rupee doubled for 15 days is just 16,000. So trust the process. Thank you.